Hey there, you're probably watching this video because you're either already selling on social media and are not particularly thrilled with the results that you're getting, or you might be gearing up to start selling on social media and want to make sure that you get this done right so that you minimize the amount of time, energy, and money you have to spend to actually create sales and get this done right so you can maximize your sales. Either way, you're in the right place. In this video, I am going to talk about fundamentals that you absolutely must know and follow to get things done right and maximize your results. And down below in the post, I am going to talk a lot more about specifics, like specific fundamentals, specific strategies, and specific tactics that you must implement in order to maximize your sales. Before I jump into fundamentals, I want to talk to you about a couple of really common mistakes that we see with a lot of e-commerce companies trying things on social media. Mistake number one, and this is major. E-commerce companies focusing on selling. And it's wrong, and here's why. If you want to build a large, profitable e-commerce company, you use social media to engage, create a lot of engagement and traction, build a large audience into which you will be selling. But engagement comes before selling. You do not want to go and try to sell things all the time. Imagine, just put yourself into customer shoes. How interested are you in interacting with content of companies that all they try to do is sell? You probably wouldn't be. I know I am not, and most others are not. So you gotta be very mindful. You gotta be like so customer centric that you create things that are relevant to them, not just relevant to you. So do not sell, engage. And I'm going to talk about those fundamentals and how to engage them in just 30 seconds or so. The second big mistake that we see e-commerce companies do on social media is that there's lack of consistency. There's a post here and a post there and a post there, but there's no consistency between this posting. You want to make sure before you deploy your efforts and your energy and your money on social media, you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of your strategy, content calendar, like how you're going to produce content, what content you're going to produce, and when you're going to post it. You should be engaging with your audience regularly, not like once a month. That's nothing. That's not even a sneeze in the world of social media where there's so many things happening. You need to be engaging them a few times per week, better yet, a few times per day. But most smaller e-commerce companies do not have the resources to do it a few times per day, but at least a few times per week, at least daily, like 5 days a week. So now that I've talked about these two major mistakes that e-commerce companies make on social media, let me jump into the fundamentals that you absolutely must know to nail this just right. So first thing, about engagement. How do you engage? Well, there is a formula that's right for social media engagement, and that formula is when you create content, your content should be split like this. 50% of your content should be purely educational. Things that help your customers understand how to solve their problems or answers their questions. The next 35% should be entertaining. Yes, entertaining can also be educational. If you have a great, very engaging salesperson who can do what I do, go in front of a camera and record videos and talk about your products or talk about your company or talk about events in the industry, anything that's interesting to your customers and prospective customers, this is what you should be doing. Never focus on just written content, just on blog posts. Do create video. After you create video, you could create written content just the way that we do this here. And when you create both, the amount of effort that you put in gets amplified in terms of results. Written and video content gets much more traction, much more attention than either one of those on their own. So you create educational content, 50% of your content should be educational, 35% of your content should be entertaining. By the way, those two can be combined. You could have 85% of your content that's both entertaining and educational. And the last 15%, you guessed it, it is selling, it's promotional content, right? So 85, entertaining and educational, 15% selling. Focus on this ratio and you will do just great in time on social media. Remember that social media does not work right away, right? It takes time and you have to be focused and know that every month that you post more and more content is a month when you attract more and more customer base. And as you do that, You're building brand awareness, you're building product awareness, and in due time, and this may take a few quarters, you will start seeing more and more and more sales rolling in. It's magical, but you have to commit to this thing. If you do not commit, like many do not, or if you do too little, few posts per month at best, you will not see the results and you will say social media does not work for us. But nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, social media today works for most businesses, even those that are B2B and selling like really unsexy hardware. It could be something that you sell for like industrial plants, some sort of equipment. But here's the deal. Your customers and your prospective customers, chances are using Facebook. If they're using Facebook, then why aren't you there? Will you say, well, this is not where they're looking to engage with us? Well, sure. But if you have Salesforce or used to have Salesforce and they used to or do call on your customers and prospects, they're also not expecting those phone calls. Yet you still want to engage them every means possible. Social media is the same way. You just have to create content that's appropriate for the channel. So for social media, you want to create a lot of educational and entertaining content for your prospects. They will engage with you. There are so many great B2B brands that are engaging their customers on social media. You absolutely must do this. I'm sure that if you look through your social media, through your Facebook, and see the likes that you have there, you will find quite a few B2B companies. It's fascinating that many more don't do this. So you have to create this content, 85-15, educational and entertaining, and 15% sales. And after that, here's what you should do to engage with your community. Number one, ask your customers to create what's called user-generated content, UGC. User-generated content simply means that when they get a product for you, they can record a video of them unboxing the product or setting up the product or using the product and giving the product a review. By the way, all three combined, unboxing, setting up, and using, if they can produce that and give you a review in that very video, it is the most powerful content you can create. Of course, you have to ask so many customers before you find one who is actually going to do it for you, but you'll be surprised. 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20 will actually do it. Don't ask them to do a masterpiece of a video. Just ask them to grab their phone camera and just record things and like narrate as they're going through the process of unboxing and setting up and using. By the way, if unboxing and setting up takes too long, then just ask them to record a video of them using your equipment or your products and ask them to just give you a quick review. Like say, we're using this piece of product or this piece of equipment and it's great and here's why. We love this product, right? Amazing content. Aside from that, there is a different type of content that you could use that also has tremendous impact, and that is using influencer marketing. What is influencer marketing? Well, think about people or a persona who has the clout in your marketplace, somebody who everybody else knows. It could be a prominent speaker and director of an association, like a trade association, or anybody else who really speaks to your audience. Reach out to them and say, would you mind doing some content for us? It doesn't have to be promotional, it can be just educational content. Something about our products, about our company, anything that other people would take or other customers would take a notice of. Influencer marketing can be incredibly powerful, and a little known fact that often enough it costs less to acquire customers using influencer marketing than it does through advertising. However, all of the things that I mentioned should be done because the power of the punch that you get through using all of them combined is much greater than if you use just one, or than if you deploy just one or two of those things. So whenever you build out your social media strategy, think about all of these things combined. You don't have to roll them out all at once. It could be a gradual process. But as you're building out a plan, or if you hire a company like mine to build out a plan for you, make sure that all of these things are built into the plan so that within 2-3 quarters, all of these things are in place and you're firing up on all cylinders so that you will see more and more sales rolling in sooner. And once you start seeing that traction, that engagement and sales, you gotta make sure that you're actually engaging customers who want to engage with you on social media. And here's what that means. If they post anything under your post, be it a question or just a comment, make sure that you engage them, respond to them. If they want to reach out to you using Facebook Messenger, make sure that you reply to them using Facebook Messenger. Customers today, B2C and B2B, want to interact every way that is convenient to them, not just to you. So you got to make sure that you have staff that's actually there to respond to their, for example, engagement through Facebook Messenger in real time, so they do not have to wait for 4 hours to get a response. That's like so 2012, right? You got to be there when they want to engage. Now, where do you go from here once you know all of these fundamentals and after you read everything else down below? Well, here's, if your company was my business, here's how I would implement my social media strategy. First of all, I would want to set a goal. And we want to focus on something meaningful, like sales. Within the first year, we want to hit X number of new dollars. And then I want to describe or plan, here's how we're going to get there. Here's how many followers and likes we need to get. Here's how much engagement we need to get. And by the way, a proficient marketing company should be able to do all of this planning with you, right? You need to describe or set objectives. Revenue, engagements, etc., etc. Here's how many of each we need to get, like a funnel, right? So that you understand that these are our expectations. Next, you build out a plan. How are we going to get there? Well, here's our plan, how we're going to build up engagement and community and drive sales. Once you have those things in place, you are ready to think about the budget. What is it that we're looking to spend to acquire each new customer and to generate each new sale? It is absolutely imperative to think about budgeting this early, because without thinking about budgeting, chances of you hitting your objectives is like very close to zero. So budgeting is definitely something that you gotta think about. Last but not least, you have to determine which metrics you're going to measure on a regular basis to determine whether you're moving in the right direction, stagnating, or moving in the wrong direction. And once you're measuring them, make sure that you actually measure them on a consistent basis, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, and look for ways to always improve on those metrics. Once you implement all of these fundamentals and tactics, your social media strategy is more likely than not to succeed and generate tremendous amount of sales for your e-commerce business.